My name is Benton Stokes. I'm a former fundamentalist, post-evangelical worship leader, and songwriter. I enjoy wry Manhattans, roller coasters, and road trips, just not all at the same time.
I'm Elane O'Rourke, and I'm a teacher, an author, and a spiritual coach. I was a philosophy professor and a liberal pastor in a couple of former lives, and these days, I love aha moments and not-so-dry martinis.
We have conversations about life and God with a queer perspective, over cocktails, like you. This is Cocktail Theology. Well, today is a first for the podcast. We are enjoying a zero-proof cocktail today.
We are.
Also known as a mocktail.
A zero proof. All right, I'm going to try it. It's very pretty.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's really good.
Yeah. Refreshing.
So this is hibiscus tea, brewed strongly. It's a little bit of a lavender simple syrup.
Okay.
It's muddled with a lot of mint.
Okay.
And then topped with a non-alcoholic wine.
Very nice.
So it sparkles. It's not too sweet. I think the sparkling is on the drier side, probably.
Yeah, maybe a little sour even.
Yeah, and then the hibiscus tea concentrate has no sweetener in it. So
actually, and this may never be said again, so I feel like there are many firsts today. It could actually be a tiny bit sweeter.
Yeah, it's definitely on the dry side. And then we garnished it with some mint, which is nice. It's aromatic and it's pretty.
Especially during the summer.
Yeah.
No, it's not bad.
Super refreshing.
It's not soda, which is great.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the thing that always bothers me about anything that's trying to be a thing that it's not is that you lean into the easy stuff like sweet, right?
Right.
So, or if you're trying to make hot sauce, but you don't actually want to worry about a flavor profile, you just make it as hot as you possibly can.
Right.
Right? So I like the fact that it's not too sweet. And it's got lots of different flavor in it, which is really nice.
It does.
Well done, sir.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I think, it's important if you're going to have a non-alcoholic drink out, that it be more interesting than a strawberry lemonade or, ginger beer and lime.
Yes.
I mean, I really like it when I go to a bar and the bartenders have gone to the trouble to figure out some zero-proof cocktails.
Yes.
And I always enjoy reading the ingredients because a lot of times you'll read something really unusual.
Yes.
And you'll be like, wow, I wonder what they did with that. But they can do infusions, they can do shrubs, they can use, all kinds of fruits and vegetables and herbs and stuff to come up with drinks that are not just like, Kool-Aid.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think that's a great way to think about it. A gin and tonic is an easy thing, right? But if you're trying to create something that's more complex, then you have to get creative about it, right? Because you don't have the automatic stuff that's in whatever the alcohol would have been.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
No, I like it.
Yeah, it's tasty.
I would drink it again.
I would too.
There you go.
I don't know what I'm going to call it yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not naming it. We all know that's just not a good plan for me.
Today I was thinking or hoping that we could have a little conversation. I recently attended my grandfather's funeral.
Yes.
He lived to be 100 years and 1 week. We had my kids and I and my sister, my nephew, my parents, and lots of cousins and extended family had a little birthday get-together for him a few days before his 100th birthday. And then a week after that birthday, he passed away peacefully at home. And so the following Sunday, we had a funeral. Most of those same folks, plus about 100 of his friends in the community, which is a tiny community, showed up to remember him and honor him. And it was a really sweet service.
Nice.
No sadness, really. It was just like we were recognizing a life long-lived and well-lived by my grandfather. And so it was really a sweet time. But in the service, there were two different speakers. One happened to be a cousin of my mother's, who is a retired Nazarene preacher.
Okay.
87 years old. And the other gentleman was a former pastor at my grandfather's church. What my cousin said in his remarks took me back a little bit. He, of course, started by sharing stories, and it was sweet. And then as he was winding down his remarks, he said, in all of my years, I believe that what happens when someone dies, whether they go to heaven or hell, comes down to two things. And he said, there are ins and outs. You are either in the kingdom or you're not in the kingdom.
Ooh.
At the moment of your passing, either you're in or you're out.
Okay.
Which is very typical sheep or goats kind of theology. But the other thing that he said that I found very interesting was he said, I firmly believe that there is no one in hell who loves Jesus. That it is impossible to love Jesus and go to hell.
That's interesting.
I thought that was really interesting. So I want to come back to that in a minute. And then, so the second speaker spoke and kind of echoed the ins and outs idea, and then drilled down pretty hard on the only way to heaven is Jesus. But he also leaned heavily on the analogy that heaven is like God's house. And in God's house, there's no despair. No one wants for anything. Everyone is fed. Everyone is cared for. Everyone feels loved and accepted and nurtured and all those things. Which is a lovely picture when you're thinking about your loved one and they're at the table with Jesus and, you know.
Sure. Jesus is lazy boy.
Jesus is lazy boy, right. So those two messages left me with just some thoughts, some things that that are rolling around in my head.
Okay.
Oh, and the other thing that my cousin said was that we are in the kingdom now. The kingdom of God is already here. Which, that's a pretty progressive thought for an 87-year-old Nazarene preacher to have, I think.
Okay.
So, the ins and the outs.
Not belly buttons.
What? Right, not innies and outies. Not severance.
That's right. I was going to go there next.
You know, I grew up with that idea. You are in or you're out, and that it was up to us ins to make sure that the outs got in, as many as we could win over, right? I think at this point in my life with my theology and understanding the nature of God the way I do now, it makes me wonder, what do you have to be out?
Okay.
Because I think with that theology, you know, with the idea of original sin, everybody kind of starts out.
Right.
And because of Jesus, they're welcomed in.
Okay.
But I believe that we start out in. So what does it take to be out?
Okay. Are you asking a question or musing?
I guess I'm posing a question.
You're posing a question. Okay. I was wondering whether I should say something, pause, wait for you to say more.
Pause for dramatic effect. Listen to the ice.
Well, I was actually just thinking about pause because I wanted to let you finish a thought if you were continuing to muse. So,
well, I think that's one of the central ideas or questions that I had walking away from both sermonettes that I heard. Was,
so what does it take to be in or out, depending on which direction? Is that
I think if we are already in, like if we are born perfect and beautiful and holy and in God's image and all of those things, the theology that I grew up in would say that we weren't born that way.
Okay.
That we were born defiled because of the sin of Adam and Eve. And only Jesus's blood, only Jesus's obedience to the cross, only Jesus being risen from the dead could save us from a fate separate from God.
Right.
But I now believe that that's not the case. That it doesn't square with my idea of what happened in Genesis. It doesn't square with my idea of God's nature. I don't believe God sends anybody to damnation or casts anyone away from God's presence. I do think that we can create hell for ourselves, and we can create that distance, and we can push ourselves away from God. Fully believe that. I just don't think it's in God's nature to push people away or to send people somewhere where they are gonna suffer.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
And so what would you have to do to be one of those people? And I'm working on the premise that there is a hell.
Right. Well, and that's what I was thinking is as you were just talking, I was like, well, I'm not hearing a hell. I'm hearing a personal despair or something, but not hell.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I believe in a hell the way that I grew up with
Right.
anymore
Right.
either.
Wow. Yeah. I hear so many different things in what your cousin said and what you just said. I mean, I guess starting with the in-out thing, whether you're born in or born out, I think you can wind up at exactly the same. That's not exactly true. That was just a gross exaggeration. You can wind up at a very similar theology. Whether you start with the idea that you're born in or born out, doesn't matter. Because if you believe that you were born out because of original sin, or you believe that you're born in, but the context of sin automatically thrusts you out because you live in a context of sin,
Sure.
then you're going to wind up out.
You're going to wind up out. Okay.
Period.
Yeah.
So I think the original sin piece is more about, really about human nature. Is human nature essentially bad?
Right.
Or is human nature essentially neutral or good?
Yeah.
Right? So that's the difference. Because you can do the theology to wind up in the same place
And
no
end
matter
up
what.
in the same place.
So
yeah, I see that.
So that part, I just want to kind of get rid of that piece for a second. But I do think that the in-out is so much a part of Christian theology. Maybe a part of all kinds of things. I mean, we're humans are tribal.
Right.
Right? We set up in and out. That's what we do.
Oh, we do. Yeah.
So I think that it's pretty hard to avoid, at its most simplistic, it's hard to avoid that kind of idea.
Yeah.
So then it makes a more interesting question to me.
Mm-hmm.
If what we're going to wind up with is in, out, what makes those two things? What does that look like?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you were struck, though, I think, by what your cousin said, right? Like, because your cousin said something about loving Jesus. What was that about?
He believes that essentially if you love Jesus, that alone keeps you from being sent to hell or ending up in hell. That no one in hell loves Jesus.
Right.
Then that begs the question, well, what does it mean to love Jesus?
Right. Right. And it sounds to me, so I know a little bit about Nazarene believes because of you, because of what you've said. But it sounds to me the thing that's remarkable about that is that there is a sense in traditional Nazarene faith that how you behave moment to moment also could condemn you.
Yes.
So you could love Jesus all you want, but if you dance with the wrong girl at the wrong time, or you dance with the wrong boy at the wrong time, you got to somehow climb back out of that.
Yes.
That's where what he said was so dramatic.
It was dramatic to me, yes.
Yeah, because now there's no climbing out of it. It's really about, do you love Jesus?
Yeah.
So that already is kind of, right?
Yeah.
That's a big
All by
earth-shattering idea.
Yeah.
If you're coming from a place where you could lose your salvation at any second.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. And I know we've talked about that before. So that's the other piece of this, right? It's not just the in and out, and it's not just the what does it mean to love Jesus, but it's also your cousin's rejecting the idea that you could lose your salvation at any second.
Yeah, it would seem that way, yeah.
That's kind of amazing.
That is really amazing.
Like just that piece, forget loving Jesus for a second. That, I mean, don't forget loving Jesus. But the remarkable piece of this to me is that whole relief from that moment by moment, am I in, am I out, am I in, am I out, am I in? I mean, because that's so oppressive.
It's incredibly oppressive.
You know, it's the 613 laws, right? It's the, am I tying my robe the right way? I mean, that's big stuff.
Yeah.
That way of thinking so resembles Jesus is upset with the Pharisees and the Sadducees, with the rulers at the time, worrying about the speck in the eye.
Right.
Right? That's big all by itself.
It is.
Okay. All right. So the in and out, and then the what does it mean to love Jesus? Okay. And so what the other guy, the Baptist guy? Mm-hmm. What did he say again? Remind me.
He echoed the ins and outs part.
Right.
He likened heaven to God's house.
Right.
And then at the end stopped just shy of an altar call, which would just be like, do you know Jesus? Do you love Jesus? Do you want to be saved? Come see me. You know, that was essentially it.
Okay.
and he's Southern Baptist, I should say.
Okay,
The second speaker.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that the former pastor of your grandfather's church was giving us straight up, if you want to go into God's house, you need to turn to Jesus.
Yes.
Confess whatever it is you need to do.
Right.
Which also isn't about behavior.
It's not.
Yet the tone of those two things is quite different, isn't it?
It is.
The preacher guy was saying essentially, you can't come in unless you do this thing.
Yeah.
And your cousin was saying, as long as you do this thing, you can come in without anything else, without you having to worry about anything else.
Right.
So in some ways they're saying the same thing, but the tone is so different.
So different.
The way you represent what your cousin said, it's really a warm idea.
Yeah.
That if you love, you're good to go. Love Jesus, you're good to go.
Right.
There's no threat in that.
No threat at all.
It's more of a positive. Here's a thing. If you do that, then you're good. The other one, there's that inherent threat.
Yeah.
That if you're not in God's house, you've got a real problem.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not even just God's house is a warm, welcoming, wonderful place to be where everything will be good and all your troubles will be, all those things. Mm-hmm. But that's the only house.
Uh-huh. Right.
There's one house.
Right.
Either you get everything.
Right.
Or you're screwed.
Yeah.
Such a different way of...
Really different.
But, the same... There's a very strong similarity in theologies, but just a very different tone. Mm-hmm. That's really interesting.
It is.
What do you think your cousin meant by loving Jesus when he said it? What's your guess?
I think he would say that if you love Jesus, then your life would reflect that in the way that you treat others, in the way that you serve God, fruits of the Spirit, humility, things like that. I think he would say that if you really love Jesus, then you'll live like you love Jesus. Like that will be a central theme to your life. Mm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I would say that would be the natural progression from a very works-based fundamentalist way of thinking about God and ourselves and the world to where he is now. Mm-hmm. We're still going to do these things, but we're not going to do these things because we're scared of hell. We're going to love Jesus, and because we love Jesus, we're going to do these things.
If you love me, you'll obey my commandments.
Yes, right.
Which kind of goes back to that whole good versus nice thing. Mm-hmm. If you're doing something because you're afraid of a consequence, or you're doing it because that's how you should behave, that's more like nice.
That's more like nice.
Right? I believe that what you truly believe, who you are on the inside, the work you do to become better, worse, whatever, shows in your life. I truly believe that if someone tells you who they are, believe them. Mm-hmm. You may want to watch them and see if what they've told you is actually accurate.
Right.
But generally speaking, if somebody's basically a kind person, they'll have days that are not good, but basically you'll see the kindness in them.
Yeah.
That's that idea. If you love Jesus, your character will shift.
Yes.
The way you behave will shift.
Right.
Because you're doing what Jesus told you to do, which changes your stuff.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so your cousin sounds a lot like my old deceased friend Dallas Willard.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's it, right?
Yeah.
It's the difference about where you're putting the energy of your effort, right? So if your effort is to live by the rules all the time versus your effort is to do what someone you love says is the best way to live, you come out a different kind of person.
Sure do. I think this was a shift in my theology quite a while ago.
Yeah.
And I am thankful to not live from a place of fear.
Yes.
I don't know what happened exactly when my grandfather died, and I don't know, where he is. I firmly believe that he is at peace, whatever that means. You know, it's nice to think that he's with my grandmother.
Yes.
And with his sister, my Aunt Frances, who I love dearly. It's nice to think that that's true. I firmly believe that he's with God, whatever that means.
Yeah.
And there is an absence of, you know, physical pain and distress and despair and all of that wherever he is. And, you know, the nice thing is that I don't think I have to know or figure that out for myself.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to not have those answers. And just trust God to be who God is and trust that all will be well. Listeners, what do you think? We love hearing from you. Cocktailtheology.com is where we are. What are you thinking about heaven and hell these days? What's your theology tell you about who God is in relation to the end of our physical lives? And do you believe that the kingdom of God is already here? And what does that mean?
Basically, we want to know everything you think.
Tell us all of it. Tell us all of it.
So pour yourself a mocktail, sit down at your computer, or, you know, dictate. That's fine too.
That's fine too. We love hearing from you. Cocktailtheology.com is where we are.
That's it.
Till next time.
Bye.
Funny how the view can change, how life just seems to rearrange itself, no matter what it was. I don't know how it goes, but look, moving on feels pretty good. Moving on feels pretty good.
If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a like and hit subscribe wherever you're listening right now. We welcome your comments, questions, and ideas for conversations and for cocktails. Please get in touch with us at our website, cocktailtheology.com. Cocktail Theology is a production of SFS. Our theme song is Moving On Feels Pretty Good, recorded by yours truly, Benton Stokes. You can find my music wherever you stream your favorite artists. Join us next Thursday for another new episode.